Ladies and gentlemen,
It's Thursday,
sports
man.
fans of all ages, it's our pleasure to present to you the newest name in Delaware sports and sports around the world, who's had absolutely no success in the real world, so he's dedicated his life to talking sports. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. It's me, Coach Muddle, joined by Tanner. What's up, buddy? Filling in for Nevada Nick. So, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm playing substitute today. I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Filling it in. So we're excited to have you on, so we could talk some NFL schedule was out. We're excited about it, and so where do you want to start? I mean, I was getting a lot of heat from some folks in Redskin fans because they felt disrespected, and we'll get to the disrespected Washington fans a little later in the show because we're going to disrespect them a little more and push them to the back of the line. So before we get to them, what did you think of the Dolphins schedule? Let's jump out. And before we even get into that, just go ahead, plug what you do, Tanner, your Fin Nation, Fin Mania, whatever it is that you do. Go ahead and slap that out there.
I'm a writer podcaster for Fin Maniacs. I got a show coming out this weekend with Coach Muddle, guest appearing on it. We talk some Giants football. The schedule that just came out. We talk about the addition of the game and everything like that. Check it out. It'll be on my Facebook. It'll be on, Coach Muddle's going to plug it as well. And just, I appreciate all the love.
All right, cool. So tell me, what do you think of the Dolphins schedule? Because they're playing a second place schedule as well, aren't they? If I remember.
Yeah, they are. But they actually have the 20. I think it's 27th, tied for the 27th ranked hardest schedule. So it'll be like top 10 easiest. So it works out in Miami's favor, especially with the new whole dual offensive coordinator thing coming in. They only have 2 primetime games, which I was very shocked of, and then including the game in London, of course. So that'll be 3 if you include London. We face the I think it's the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, and then the Saints on Monday Night Football. So we have no Sunday Night Football games. The biggest takeaway for me is we end the season with 5 out of the 6 games are home. We have a week 14 bye. Week 14 bye, very, very late bye. But the Dolphins really don't get a late bye, so I guess it works out for them good this year, hopefully at least. And they have a bunch of young talent. They have Tua. I'm surprised they didn't get a lot more primetime games. And like I said, the 5 out of 6 games to finish the season at home. But the biggest thing to me is, they don't go to Buffalo or New England later on in the year. I think we play New England at New England week 1. I think week 6 we go to Buffalo. So, that's always my biggest fear as a Dolphins fan, going up there in the cold, especially, being a Dolphins fan, them playing in Miami, they're not used to the cold. But to me, we just went to Buffalo last year, week 17. We got slaughtered. So I definitely takes a little sweat off my back that we're playing Buffalo in Buffalo week 6.
Now, wasn't in the I forget, was it the Dolphins back in the day? They had that streak. They hadn't won a game under 40 degrees in like forever. Like I mean, they went on a streak that was that they hadn't won a game in under 40 degrees in I forget. It was
that may be true.
A really weird stat. So, and I could be wrong. Could have been Tampa.
I remember the
I
Dolphins
know it was a Florida team. So
the Dolphins did go on a streak of at one point. It was either they went like, they lost like 16 road games or 16 home games in a row. I forgot which one it is. It was dating back when they went 1-15 that year. That was way back, but I do remember that where there's like a stretch of like 10 or something games where they didn't win a home game or a road game. It was one of the two.
No, this was just them in the month of January, December and January. If it was below 40 degrees, they didn't win. They lost like 20 some odd games in a row of under 40-degree weather. So you knew if they were playing if you played New England or Buffalo and the weather was that, you guaranteed, I'm sure Nevada Nick could give you the stat, because I'm sure he made a lot of money off of that. I'm positive of it, so we'll go from there. So, but yeah, so I think really you look at it with the, we really hadn't talked since after the draft, where you add a big piece, a big weapon for Tua, and you did you fix the odds? Did you get
drafted
some offensive linemen too? I think, and an edge rusher.
Yeah,
and that's like in the first round. You got the edge rusher. We got edge rusher. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then in the seventh,
what does that do?
Got a tackle, and then in the third round.
So what does that?
Like my prediction
for you? Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think they did enough to catch Buffalo? Do you think? Because I feel like everybody has kind of forgotten about New England, and I mean, did everyone forget that? I think 8 out of 11 starters opted out on defense last year. Those guys are coming back. I mean, that was a Super Bowl defense. If I'm not mistaken, they won a Super Bowl prior to COVID with that defense. So you have those guys coming back. Now, obviously, it's not Tom Brady, and I'm not saying Cam Newton's a Super Bowl quarterback, but the pieces that are around, I can see Mac Jones coming in, starting by week 3 or 4, and making some noise with that quarterback-friendly offense that McDaniel runs up there. So, I mean, I just feel like everyone's forgotten about them, and it's like, oh, it's just except for Jets fans, but they're a dumpster fire, and they think that they're going to win the AFC East. But I feel like, all the talking heads, all they talk about is Buffalo and Miami in a 2-horse race. And I feel like everyone's forgotten about New England and what they've done. And I've got to believe Bill Belichick's not having 2 losing seasons in a row.
It's actually funny you brought this up, because the betting lines are actually already out for week 1, believe it or not, and the Patriots are actually favored to win by, I've seen anywhere from 1.5 points to 2.5 points, and I just think that's insane for one, because I mean, come on now,
they are at home.
You don't even know who the quarterback is. They are at home, but I'm not worried about that. I know,
but you
Miami
forgot their
running
defense.
Quarterbacks.
You have
I know.
bunch of defensive guys who got to heal up. They kept some tread on the tire. Okay, the tires now got a lot of tread because they're all 100% healthy. They haven't been doing nothing but pushing some iron around, and now they're ready to hit some people. And I gotta believe. And Matt Patricia's back. Matt Patricia's back too. Everyone's forgetting to put him in the equation. I mean, come on. He was a defensive coordinator for a lot of those Super Bowl wins.
The real mastermind of their defense was current Dolphins coach Brian Flores. He was a huge mastermind of the defense. You saw it back when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. They absolutely, made the Rams offense non-existent. One of the best offenses we've seen in a long time with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff. And, they had all the receivers in the world, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Gurley was hurt, but C.J. Anderson did turn on the playoffs. You can ask Cowboys fans of that question. And he just shut them down. He had 3 points. They had 3 points the entire game. But I do think the defense is going to be improved. But I expected that game to be a defensive game anyway. Whatever offense is better is going to win. And I just don't have faith in the Patriots offense week 1, of course, unless the Dolphins can't, contain. Contain running quarterbacks. I do. Jeez, I don't think the Patriots have the weapons.
Wait a second. But you're reminding me of a certain intern I used to have on my show that used to come on his 2 seconds of fame that he would get on the mic and just sit here and go, Tom Brady's a system quarterback. He couldn't win anywhere else. He can't do it anywhere else. And I just think you're saying the same thing because, I mean, if you take Bill Belichick and prior to last year, Bill Belichick was the last winning coach in Cleveland before last season. He was the last coach to take Cleveland to the playoffs. So he won everywhere he's been. He's been a winner, and he's been nothing but consistent. And I just think that it's, you're just kind of, oh, they're done. Like all of a sudden they're going to turn into Detroit or the Jets.
No.
I just don't see it.
I definitely think that this year is not the year for him, if I'm being honest. I think they overpaid on some free agents, Nelson Aguilar, and they got another receiver, and my mind's skipping. They did sign 2 big tight ends in free agency. They had a good free agency. They did overspend, like I just said. They like Nelson Aguilar I think got $11 million a year.
Yeah, I think, and Nelson.
I think he's trying to skip a rebuild. He just wants to like ignore that they have to rebuild, if that makes sense. Like, you can see that they don't draft well. Like N'Keal Harry, a couple of years ago, he hasn't panned out. I think Bill's ego is.
No, I feel like Bill's got a little bit more pressure because Tom won a Super Bowl. I think that pressure has creeped in, but I don't feel like skipping the rebuild because I don't think there's a rebuild. Everybody forgets all the guys that opted out. I think the Patriots had the most.
It's just their offense, though.
Okay, but in free agency, you always overpay in free agency. I don't care what team you are. And, hey, Nelson Aguilar couldn't catch a cold buck naked in Antarctica when he was in Philadelphia. He went out to Vegas. They used him correctly because he's a slot guy, and that's all he is. And I'll tell you what, if he becomes the slot guy for New England, he will be just as good. Because that's what he is. He's a slot guy. He's not a true receiver. He's not an X or a Y. He is that slot guy. So it'll be seen. But if you remember, the New England really tore it up when they had the 2 tight end system before the Hernandez thing fell apart on them. And I think Bill has been desperately trying to get back to that since then and hasn't been able to, and now he saw an opportunity, did it, and come on, Saban and Belichick are buddies. They hang out together. They talk together. You're telling me that Mac Jones wasn't going to New England? I mean, come on. That was almost a foregone conclusion. It was just, is Bill gonna trade up to get him? And he didn't have to. He saw that he fell to him, and that's what it is. And I believe that Mac Jones will be starting football games by week 3.
Yeah, I do definitely think. I just think the week 1 games are kind of hard to, It
is hard because
but I think this year it's going to be easier.
I think it's going to be a little harder
with new systems, new players, and everything.
Yes, you have training camp now. You've got the OTAs and training camp all going to be in that. But I think also the guys are I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. It's, one of those days. But no, all those guys are going to be in there. They're going to get things going. But what I was getting at is the training camp, those preseason games. They've cut one out. And, I feel bad for the rookies, the walk-ons, the undrafted guys that's where they get to shine. And I honestly think week 1 and 2 of the season, regardless if it was years prior or this year, it's still teams getting their sea legs under them and getting there. So it's really hard to judge the week 1 and the first 2 weeks of the season until you see what how things are going with those guys. So it'll be interesting to see with just 3 preseason games and how teams look to do that. Especially, I don't understand why the NFL opens up the season with divisional matchups. I think they shouldn't be. They should just kind of be games.
Not all teams are.
Much. I know, but a lot of teams
not all
are
teams
opening
are.
up
you
with the
are
division. Right. You know, so I don't think that you should. I think it should be, you know, you should have kind of like a college season. You open up with some cupcakes. You know, I mean, not everybody can play Detroit every week and the Jets, but you know, and you know, I love poking fun at the Jets and their dumpster fire, but I think Joe Douglas is turning that around, and they're going to be a little bit of a wild card. I think everybody's kind of canceled them out, and I just want to speak on the Jets real quick. The amount of Jet fandom when Sam Darnold was drafted, you would have thought that every Jet fan played the Powerball and they hit the Powerball. Oh my God. And now all of a sudden you have Zach Wilson.
They think Wilson.
And they think he's the next guy. I'm like, you know what? I still think Sam Darnold's the guy. And, you know, week 1, I think Sam Darnold could have proved you why, you know, he's going to have a resurgence. I'm sorry. I like Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold was picked by the Giants instead of Saquon Barkley, we would be talking about the Giants being a contender right now with the pieces that were put around, because he is more of a quarterback than Daniel Jones. Hey, end of story. Sorry. So, yeah.
So talk to me about the Giants schedule. I haven't seen too much on it, you know.
Well,
I've been looking at the key matchups and everything.
I believe that it is a let me see. Let me pull it up here. Give me 1 second.
You guys are opening it in New York against Denver, which is a wild card because who's going to play quarterback?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, you could be facing Drew Brees right now, you know. So we'll see. I'm Drew Brees. I'm sorry. It should be
Drew Lock.
Aaron Rodgers. No, Aaron Rodgers, man.
Oh yeah,
Aaron
it could be Aaron Rodgers, right?
Aaron Rodgers could be the guy.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, that's the thing. So yeah, we got a 4:00 game. It's the Broncos, and then I don't like that we go from. I see. This is the other thing that bothers me. Okay, let me get this itch in my ear done. Is you shouldn't have to play a divisional game on Thursday night. Okay, that is unacceptable to me. You're playing a late game on Sunday, and then you're gonna go. You have to, you know, the shortened week to begin with, and it's a division game. I just setting it up to be an L for the Giants, because, you know, the road team. How often does the road team?
That's tough too. That's a tough.
You know, and
Washington's pretty tough too.
And then week 3, we're home against Atlanta. You don't know what you're getting in Atlanta, but let me tell you, it's going to be tough. You know, they got probably 2 of the best receivers, 3 great receivers. With that, that's going to be a tough game. The Saints, you don't know who's the quarterback, what's going on there at the Saints. Then you travel to Dallas, and Dallas is Dallas. Then you got the Rams at home and Carolina at home. And then you got to go out to Kansas City, which is a Monday night game.
That's rough.
And then the following week, you host the Raiders. And then you got a week 10 bye. And then you head down to play Tampa, home for Philadelphia, then at Miami, at the Chargers, home for Dallas, at the Eagles, at the Bears, and then home for the Redskins. So, I mean, that's a pretty tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. You know, honestly, I think the Giants will be 4-2 in the division. And I think they have a chance to squeak. They played pretty well against Tampa last year. They almost played that game. They were a play away from winning that football game.
It was a competitive game. It was a very competitive game.
Yep. So that, I mean, the Bears, I think the Giants win against the Bears this year. And the Raiders, I'm sorry. Gruden is terrible. That's a win for the Vegas isn't coming all the way to the East Coast and winning a football game. They can't because Gruden is, the Panthers going to be a good game. And the Rams, I mean, this is a real tough schedule. I mean, really, I'm looking at maybe 5-6 wins. I mean, I don't know that the Giants will
really
above 500. I mean, and really, I'm a fan. I'm not jumping out there like some people going, "Oh, we're 14-2, 14-3." I mean, no, I don't see that. I mean, this is a really tough schedule. I think the Giants squeak it out against the Broncos just because it's the Broncos. They're young. They're going to be, Pat Shermer going to come back, want to play good against his former team. I don't know that you beat Washington on a Thursday night. I don't think you go down to Atlanta and beat Atlanta with that receiving core. New Orleans, I think they're going to have quarterback issues. I think the Giants have a chance in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Dallas, I always give them a chance.
It all depends
because
on
the division. Right. But Dallas, it's it's a crapshoot because it's a division game. And the Rams, I don't know. I don't know that Matthew Stafford's the guy there. So I don't know. I like the Giants at home against the Rams. And the Panthers, I like them just because the Giants are at home. I think that's going to be competitive. The Chiefs, I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. But I think the Raiders are a win. I think they could squeak one. They got a great chance against Tampa Bay. I'm not saying that's a win for them. I'm not chalking it up. But, at home, Philadelphia, we're not losing to Philadelphia this year. We're sweeping Philadelphia this year. I guarantee you. After what happened last year, the Giants will win 2 against the Eagles. Okay, I'm stating that as a fact.
Nick might jump back on.
Okay, well, Nevada Nick go scratch because
Nevada Nick might hop on.
So but we'll see. So like I said,
that's 2 guaranteed wins.
2 guaranteed, yes, 2 guaranteed. So, like I said, I think the Giants win like 8, 7, 8 games. I don't
8
see
9,
8 9. I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I don't see it. So, but yeah.
You think that's good enough to win the division? 8 9?
No, I know. I think you're going to need 10, 11 wins this year to win the division. I think, and I think Joe Judge will have them ready to play. Danny Dimes, absolutely. If they only win 8 games, he's done. The Giants are in the market. It's the.
Do you think he'll get benched?
Tank for Rattler is where we're going with that. Yeah, I don't even know.
Now you guys have an extra first-round pick too, right?
Yes, we do have 2 first-round picks. So let's see.
What if you guys trade for Rodgers?
No, we're not at that win now.
The Broncos aren't either.
Yeah, but the Broncos are. They're young. John Elway wants.
They're young,
but John Elway just wants to put somebody in there to,
be him.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm trying to see who the quarterbacks are. I hate that they put it in alphabetical order, so I got to scroll the whole. How come they won't let me go by position?
I see. Joe Webb and Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon. Oh my God.
There it is.
And Joe Webb. Oh my goodness, man.
Hey, Glennon just got signed this offseason, actually.
Yes, I know they did sign him this offseason, so I don't know what's gonna it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man, because I think Danny Dimes has to suck it up and play through it, and hopefully he throws less interceptions, but
and less fumbles.
We'll see.
But I think he has cleaned the fumbles up a little bit.
Yeah, yes, and also look, Daniel Jones also led the league in the most interceptions off a player, however the stat was on Pro Football.
Yeah.
More passes bounced off a receiver and then got intercepted than actually throwing to the other team. So in his defense, so if he can clean that up, maybe not throw it to Evan Ingram as much. I don't know. That might help the situation. I mean, so we'll see. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I really think the Giants. It's 8 win. They're an 8-win team. So and hopefully I'm wrong. I'd like them to see win 12 games, but they're a middle of the pack team still because they don't have a quarterback, and we have a running back that is good, but he's injured, and if he gets hurt again, I think we're done. He's done. But I'd like to see.
You guys don't have a running back, do you?
We have Saquon Barkley.
No, if he gets hurt,
rather run the. If he gets hurt, who's the backup? I don't really know who's. In
Wayne
the backfield
Goldman
still is gone. He's San Francisco, I believe.
Somewhere the 49ers are just stacking running backs. He drafted Trey Sermon too.
Yeah. So we will see. I think it'll. I think the Giants try. I'd trade Barkley. I think Barkley has a decent season, and let's move on because you're not paying him. You're not paying him the money, that big contract, because the Giants just don't pay running backs. So get something for him instead of letting him walk out the door. Somebody might give you a number one. I mean, come on now.
They did pick up his 5th-year option. I did see that.
They did. So you run them and then see if you can't trade them. I mean, the Dolphins might give up some of their picks.
Get traded.
The Dolphins might give up some of their picks. They have a lot of picks.
We would be way too far if that happens. Maybe not. I even think next offseason we won't even do that. If it was this year and we can trade him, if we can get him for like a second pick, we would do a second-round pick. But we wouldn't. I'm not even sure. The Dolphins don't even value the position.
Yeah, you're right.
The Dolphins don't even value the running back position.
A lot of teams don't. The Giants don't. So.
You guys spent the 4th overall pick. I would have been ecstatic if Najee Harris was the Dolphin at 18, but we didn't.
It's Dave, and I'm surprised. It's because it's Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman doesn't trade or do what's right for the team, because that obviously is not what you do. You don't take a running back top 5 when you had Chubb there in the 2nd round. And
I think the last time Dolphins drafted a running back higher than the 7th round was Ajayi in like 2013.
Oh, that's right. Did they get him in the 4th round? I think he was
5th round pick.
5th round pick. Okay. Hey, and then the Eagles paid.
He had the knee issue.
The Eagles paid. Well, he had that in college. He had the knee. That's what kept him. That's what kept him
exactly.
out of the
That's why he fell.
And that's why he fell, because he was a big talent. And I think also. Really? I thought they had another running back they drafted sooner than that. Oh, God, I can't think of his name.
I'm looking right now. Last year, they didn't even draft the running back. 2019, they drafted one in the 7th round. They drafted Kalen Ballage, 4th round in 2018, and he turned out to be the biggest bust.
Okay.
He was good. He had potential, but then other than that, it was Ajayi in 2015, 5th round. I apologize for saying 2013.
Okay.
But I just haven't seen anything higher than a 4th round. Lamar Miller, 4th round in 2012. We just don't. Daniel Thomas.
Maybe that's what I was thinking
if
about.
anyone knows who he is.
Who?
2011 Daniel Thomas from Kansas State. Hasn't played in the NFL since 2014. So.
Okay. No. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know. I think the Giants are very high on Pert, and hopefully Andrew Thomas makes some strides in his second year playing tackle. And Nate Solder, as much as he is a swinging gate himself, I think he's a good. He'll be a good kind of a coach that that extra coach you need in the locker room, that player's guy in the meeting room, help those young cats out a little bit. And I still think we're not set on center. Well, this is the last year of his contract. We're going to pay him and move on. And again, the Giants.
I think he might have restructured a little too.
I think he did. But again, the Giants love to draft and pick up these right tackles and try to convert them to left tackle and fail miserably. In case you remember, a guy named Eric Flowers played right tackle at the University of Miami. Right tackle. We drafted him in the first round, I think at number 13. Ninth. Okay, ninth. And made him a left tackle, failed miserably. And, I said he needed to move into guard. And, geez, man, resurrected himself in Washington, got some big money from the Dolphins, and got shipped back to Washington.
He did.
So.
Now we overpaid for him, and I think I called it, back in January that he was going to be gone.
But he is a guy but it doesn't matter. You're always overpaying in free agency. And free agency really is that, and the reason why free agency used to be after the draft was because free agency is really to fill the holes that you couldn't fill in the draft. And that's just what it is. We'll see. We'll just see how that works out. With it, but I just think like the Giants, why draft a receiver when you just paid $72 million for one? Your first pick is supposed to walk in the door and be a starter day one, and he's not going to be. So,
it's just going to be, it's going to be interesting, man.
See. So, all right. And now, we can talk a little, show little bit of respect to the Washington football team and whatnot. I mean,
they got a good team, man. I like them. I like them.
Yes,
actually.
But they have Fitzmagic, and you know very well how Fitzmagic operates, man. He's going to come out week 1 and week 2 and light it on fire. And then week 3 and 4, he's going to light himself on fire and be a dumpster fire. I mean, come on. So I just don't see it. And,
with Fitzpatrick this past year, we were actually always competitive. The issue was him closing games. In Denver, we were down. Tua got pulled, and he came in, led us down the field. We were down by 14. We actually down by 17. He brought us back, scored 2 touchdowns, and then on the game-winning drive to win the game, he threw a pick in the end zone. So all the games that we were in, he was competitive. I mean, I wouldn't say he was like as bad as he was. I forgot where he was, but I remember that, some games he would throw, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Next week, throw 87 yards, 4 picks. But he wasn't that bad in Miami. He wasn't that bad. But he definitely did lose us some games. I'm not going to say he didn't. He won us some games. The Raiders game. He won us the Raiders game. But, I mean, it's Washington has a good team around him. I think Washington has a better team around him than what the Dolphins had around him last year.
You think?
I know for 100%.
Okay. All right.
But he's still going to be himself, though.
Right. He's still going to do his deal. I just think so. I don't know. I just think Fitzmagic's going to lose you more games than he's going to win you in Washington for the Redskins. And I think that's why, 800. What do you mean 800? What's 800?
They're going to go not 800. They're going to go 500. 8 8 9 is what I meant to say. That's what I was saying. 800. 8 9 or 9 and 8. They're going to hover around there.
So what are you saying? The division is going to be a dumpster fire again, like last year? Because I just said the Giants are an 8-9 win team. And I don't think Dallas
the Cowboys.
And I mean, I don't think Philadelphia. I don't think Philadelphia is winning more than 6 or 7 games.
No, I think the Cowboys get 10 or 11.
You think so?
With Dak back,
they didn't fix their defense.
I do.
But they still don't have a defense. They need secondary help. But they got Parsons. They need secondary help. So I don't know why. I don't know why they're not getting secondary help. So I just don't see it in this.
That's just how Jerry Jones is.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
But I do think that they're gonna. It's going to be a toss-up. I don't even think the Eagles are in conversation to win the division, if I'm being honest. It's going to be a three-team race.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
It all depends how Daniel Jones plays. It all depends how Jones plays. I think the Giants are the best coached team in the division. I do think that. So I think with just how open it is, I think if the Giants, I think if Danny Dimes plays just average, I think you guys will have a good shot to win the division. But I'm just not a believer in him.
I'm not as well. I'm not a believer in him. So, yeah.
That's the issue. If I was a believer, I would say Giants are winning the division. They have
absolutely.
I wouldn't say that. I think they've been Washington have a pretty good defense, but I think when it comes to offense, the Giants definitely overpowered the.
And here's what the Redskin fan or the Washington football team fan is: the Giants had a top 10 defense last year. Their defense was top 10, and I think now with the adding the kid and the other secondary guy, I mean, we'll see about the end from Georgia, who was a first round pick. We got him in the second round, whatever. We'll see. I think the Giants can be a legit top 5 defense. I think,
Joe Judge is a great coach. I really do believe that.
Yeah, and I would, I wouldn't be surprised. I am the guy. I'm setting the bar low for the Giants, so that when they do win 12 games and they win the division, I could be excited. I could be, and not disappointed by saying, oh yeah, man, they're going 17-0. I mean, come on now. So yeah, we'll see. But
it's gonna be tough though, man. It's an open division, really, until we see. You know what I mean? It's all, but the NFC East is always like that though. It's always pretty open. It always comes down to week. Well, now it's gonna be week 18, but it always comes down to last week in the season.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think of Tim Tebow getting a shot, play tight end?
People are saying they don't like it. It's more of a culture move to me, if anything. Apparently Urban Meyer, everyone's saying he got beat Urban Meyer. Apparently Urban Meyer did an interview, and he wasn't even at the tryout. Tebow had a tryout. He actually reached out to them. They didn't reach out to him. Tebow reached out to him and said that he was in great shape and that he's working to play tight end now. Even though he just retired from baseball, he's with the Jets minor league. And
the Mets, the Jets.
They said he was in great shape. Yeah, the Mets.
The Mets, yes.
And then he actually had a second tryout because the Jaguars coaches told him what he should work on. And I guess a month or so later, he had another tryout, and apparently he worked on it, and he got better than what they all expected. And they signed to a 1-year deal. Their tight end room is actually pretty thin. Like they're very, very thin at tight end. So I'm not everyone's saying a Taysom Hill type role, but I can actually see him being an actual tight end. I'm not sure how he looks, but I can see him getting more reps at tight end than Taysom Hill ever will in his career.
Okay. Yeah, but I always said Tim Tebow from the inside the 25 and in is one of the best quarterbacks because he legit is that run throw threat, that option of tucking it and putting it, and getting those tough yards. And because I never liked I didn't think he had a very good long ball. I never, he could throw those little slants and stuff. He never had that big deep ball arm. So for him to come inside the 20-yard line and run a goal line type offense, I thought would be perfect. And I mean, this just sets it up. You put him at the back at the lineup for punts. I mean, he is now a legit guy that you got to count in the box and account for now. I think, man, if I'm a special teams coach, which I am, by the way, I'm licking my chops. I got Tim Tebow on my roster and so many different things that I can do with him. So
no,
we'll see. I'm excited to see
right. You can have him run it. You can even have him. You can have him throw it as well as an up back. That's something that you really don't see him as much anymore. But you can definitely have him throw. You can have him run it. But I do think that they're going to use him in a Taysom Hill type role. I don't think they're going to use him as much as to the extent the Saints do, because the Saints go crazy with it. But I think that, like you said, the red zone is definitely where he's going to flourish. I definitely think that, you can actually run Wildcat and have both Trevor Lawrence and Tebow back there. And you really don't know what's going to happen. Really.
Absolutely. So that'll be good. So we'll see how that how it works out, man. I'm excited. I can't wait, man. I can't wait now. We're getting, when the OTAs, when's training camp start? It's a countdown. When's training camp? What do we got? We got about a month and a half till training camp.
We're coming close.
So because when we start mid-July.
End of July. Mid to late July. Rookies are already reporting for mini camp. We're coming close, man.
So very, very excited, man. I can't wait. We're gonna have some fun, and hopefully this season, Nevada Nick and I will be broadcasting from a couple of different locations. Get out. I was about to say get out to the vet, but get out to the link, and maybe down to I don't even know what they call that stadium anymore. FedEx is it still called FedEx Field? I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is FedEx Field still. Yeah, it is FedEx.
So we'll get down there. We'll definitely be up at Giant Stadium and out of Vegas. We'll definitely be out there. We'll see.
We have to do a GoFundMe for Coach Muddle, everyone, to get him tickets for the Raiders games.
GoFundMe.
They're $600 a piece right now. $600 a piece right now.
Listen, GoFundMe the top donator can be the sidekick. The top donator gets to come to use the other ticket. Go. So this way I'm forcing Nevada Nick to be the top donator so he can go. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out and go from there, man. So kind of excited, man. Yeah, well,
it's gonna be a great year, man.
It's gonna be an awesome year. So we're gonna have. I know Nevada Nick's taking some time off, so I'm gonna have Billy in here. I'm gonna have you in here. We're gonna bring the Stiz, the cornhole champion of the world, in to give us some stuff on his early fantasy football stuff and whatnot. So and the Prop Bet King, I forgot to add that to his title as well, Prop Bet King. So we have a whole list for him. So we'll go from there. And Stiz, see, I start talking about him and he pops up, man. What's up, buddy? So we'll have some folks on. We'll go as Nevada Nick is can't, his room's filling up with so much money he's making. He can't keep it out of the camera's view. So he's got to take some time off so he can spend it or whatever. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Vegas.
So what's up, buddy? So what were your ears ringing, Stiz? What were your ears ringing? You heard me talking about you, so you jumped on. So yeah, we'll see. It's so it'll be fun. Just as we're getting ready to close it up, Stiz. I appreciate you jumping on real quick and checking us out. Tanner, I appreciate you coming on last minute, coming in and filling in
man.
for Nevada Pick.
Man.
I appreciate it. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. Hopefully Monday we'll be back on our regularly scheduled time, and we'll get going. I appreciate it. So, all right, everyone, be safe. We'll see you on Monday. Man. Tanner, thanks, buddy. Take care, man.
Anytime.